Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, we talk about video games. Today we're going to talk about Streets of Rage 4, which just came out, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. It's a 4th edition of a great legendary trilogy of beat-em-up games that came out originally on the Sega Genesis. If you're looking for a game that screams 1990s beat-em-up action, look no further than the Streets of Rage series, which is why I was excited about the 4th iteration of this franchise to be coming out. You know, when it was announced quite a while back, the original trailer showed this brand new art style that kind of looks like a hand-drawn, cel-shaded type of look that is very different from the classic pixel sprite look that the Genesis brought. But the main question that everyone wanted to know was, does this game hold up? Is this game worthy of holding the Streets of Rage franchise name on it? And I have to say, going in, I was not too nervous, not too worried, because looking from the trailer, I was like, wow, this actually looks pretty solid. In the trailer, you could see that each of the different characters had a variety of different combo moves, some special moves, and of course, you know, some of their legendary moves from the original series there. So in this game, it takes place 10 years after the last Streets of Rage game. So this is like set in the actual canon. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. This is an actual chronological sequel to the original trilogy. I know there's a lot of fans out there of this series that were very hesitant if there should even be a 4th game. They thought it being a trilogy was perfect. That, you know, don't break it if it's not broken, or don't fix it if it's not broken. Anyways, the Streets of Rage 4 takes place 10 years after, and you have Axel and Blaze returning from the original series of the game. They're accompanied by 2 new characters that we have. One of them is named Cherry, who has a guitar, and she's kind of fast and powerful. You know, I think she's actually really strong. She's a pretty OP character. And then you have another character that has like arms that are similar to Jax from Mortal Kombat, who is a little bit more slow. He's a little bit more of a powerhouse. And then of course Axel and Blaze. Axel is like a solid character. He's not too fast, not too slow, not overpowered. He's more well balanced. And then Blaze, she's pretty fast actually. She's really fast, very easy control. I think she's actually my favorite one to actually use when playing this game. But yeah, you go through about 12 stages in the gameplay. There's about 12 stages. You can actually kind of run through the gameplay rather quickly, but it's okay because there's plenty of reason to do replay sessions in this. For one, there's unlockable characters. You can get additional characters unlocked. Slight little spoilers here. There's a character named Adam that you can unlock, and then of course there's retro versions of some of the characters. You'll get like a 16-bit retro styled sprite character version of them, and there's a lot of homage and tribute to the original series. As you progress through the stages, sometimes you'll see something in a stage in the background that's a nod to it, like the arcade machine saying, you know, Bare Knuckle, which is the actual Japanese name of Streets of Rage. And then you'll see characters from previous games and slight little homages to the series in the background, your signs and stuff like that. So pretty neat. You know, if you're a fan of the series, if you grew up on it, there's a lot of fan service here. The game pretty much plays like any other beat 'em up. You know, even some of the original moves, like Axel's forward punch move with that that uppercut move that he does, is in this game. So you have like a combo system in here that is basically a chain. It's not necessarily like how many hits you can get at one time, but it's more like consecutive hits. So let's say you're hitting an enemy, you get 10 hits in, he dies, you have like a second or two to get the next enemy, and you can continue on and then continue on. You can even hit objects in the ground that go towards that total, and that'll increase your score. With every so often amount of points, you get an extra life. Throughout the stage, you'll find different items, like in the originals, like apples and salads, or apples and turkeys. You can even switch the food in the options. There's a lot of different options. You can switch the way the food looks. If you don't want apples or turkeys, you can do hamburgers and salads and all sorts of different stuff, which is random. You could even switch the music to be the 16-bit music from the original games if you don't want to have what this new game is. You know, there's lots of credit and fame towards the original Streets of Rage music. So if you're a big fan of that, which I do enjoy the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack, you can play the retro music while you play this game. So that's kind of neat too. As far as different gameplay modes, there is the story mode, which of course takes you through the 12 different stages. There's different difficulties. There's easy, normal, hard, and then there's like an expert mode. And then in addition to that, you can unlock an arcade style mode, a level select mode, and then there's even an arena mode that you can play. That's more of like a standard fighting game, kind of like the one that was in the Double Dragon game on the NES. Lots of content here. Not to mention, you can play online with people. You can set up a 2-player game online and battle through whatever level or mode they're on right there. You can even set your own mood. So there's a fair amount of different gameplay and modes here. There's galleries to unlock different types of like concept art and different things pertaining to this. So they do appreciate and take a nod to the lore of the original Streets of Rage game in this game. Not just with the way the game actually plays and looks, but with the acknowledgement in the backgrounds, the fan service, the gallery and stuff. So it does complement the Legendary series really well. Now, how did I personally feel about it? Growing up, I didn't have Streets of Rage in my Sega Genesis collection. It was actually my brother's collection, and when he got out of gaming, he gave it to me, but we didn't have the Streets of Rage game. I was always more on the Nintendo boat, playing Final Fight and games like that, but Streets of Rage was always a game series that I could appreciate and like to want to play whenever I got the chance. So this game does have a fair amount of challenge. Even on the normal mode, you can see that there is a fair amount of challenge in here because the stages, you know, they have that old school feel in them, but you'll find some stage hazards such as like toxic puddles. You'll see explosive containers. There's holes that you can fall through, steam and smoke that'll pop up and get you, and wrecking balls and different things like that. But there's also a fair amount of weapons that not only can you use, but the enemies can use. So sometimes you'll find yourself getting attacked by a lot of enemies that might have knives and they're throwing them, or enemies that can spit fire. But you know, overall it does have that classic arcade feel. I think that it was really solid, really well put together. Again, it was interesting to see that a company decided to bring out a brand new Streets of Rage, because you know, retro games and franchises are kind of popping up. It's almost like 2020 is the year of the retro franchises coming back. We had Resident Evil come out. We have Final Fantasy VII come out. Trials of Mana came out. We got Streets of Rage coming out. So there's a lot of like games that are like reboots, remasters, sequels, or any kind of like nod to previous franchises coming out. So Streets of Rage came out. It was beloved. Again, this is coming from somebody who's not as much of a diehard, but has had experience in the past. I think the game actually was really impressive and a lot of fun. It is on Game Pass, actually, and that's the version that you're seeing in this footage. I have it on Nintendo Switch as well. It's comparable to the way the Xbox version performs, and I'm sure the PlayStation version performs just the same. There's not as many hiccups or anything on any of this. The game runs well. It's Game Pass, so if you already have a Game Pass membership, you don't have to pay the $25 to get the game in the Nintendo eShop or the digital PSN store. I know Limited Run did do a physical pre-order. I don't know as of this video if it's still out there, but there was a physical pre-order for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch if you wanted to go ahead and get that. But if you don't want to spend any money and you already have Game Pass, then there's absolutely no reason at all why you don't have this on your Xbox One. I had a lot of fun with it, even with playing online. It was interesting because, you know, you might get stuck in some levels, and if you die, there's assist that you can do on the game over screen that can give you more lives or more star moves or star moves. I know I'm kind of scattered all over the place, but it's just because I had so much fun playing this game for several hours. I didn't want to ruin too much of the spoilers or anything like that, beside from the main characters and the nods to the game that you can get. There's even a special surprise that you can unlock, Easter eggs in the game. I don't want to give you any hints. Just look out for the arcade machines, and you'll see what can happen if you unlock a certain area. But yeah, a very great game, lots of fun all around. I do think that this is a must get. If you have Game Pass, there's absolutely no reason why you haven't played this yet, but I do recommend that you buy it on PS4 or Switch as well if you want. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm seeing a lot of people enjoying it as well. Lots of people are praising it. Now, do I think it's as a much of a masterpiece as some people are saying it? To me, it seemed pretty standard. It seemed like a standard beat 'em up game. There's no way to really mess up the formula. You go from left to right on the screen. You knock out a whole bunch of enemies that look like different versions of colors and palettes of the same sprites and stuff. You have a special move that decreases your health. You have combos and stuff like that. It was pretty standard in regard, but I guess in the way of should it deem itself being a Streets of Rage game, should it have that title, then yeah, this went as perfect as it could be to be a successor to the Streets of Rage trilogy. You know, a lot of people were worried if it would hold up, if it would be good, and thankfully it does not suck. So you must check it out if you haven't yet. Anyways, guys, that's it for my thoughts, my review on Streets of Rage 4. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye. Consider supporting 8-Bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description. You want to become part of the hashtag 8BE Nation, guys? Well, be sure to pick up your official merch, now available online. Link is below in the description. We got classic t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and even women's apparel. Don't forget, pick up your official merch now. And while you're at it, guys, feel free to watch the next video, or why don't you catch up on one that you might have previously missed. Thanks again, guys, for all the support. I couldn't do this without you. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to subscribe and click that like button if you are brand new. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.